This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to this introductory session on psychometric. We will have a couple of sessions on psychometric after this also. Today is a broad level introduction of what kind of questions will you get in psychometric section, and what should be your approach while you are attempting these questions in the mock tests. So tomorrow you will have three psychometric tests and three descriptive writing tests also live in the test section of the MICAT course. So you can start taking your psychometric tests as well from tomorrow. And before you start to attempt them, we needed to have this session so that you go with a very clear approach when you try to attempt a psychometric test. Now, as I said in my previous discussion, with all of you in the first session of MICAT, that there is no right or wrong answer in psychometric. So don't worry about whether you are answering right or wrong. What is more important is to focus on that, are you giving those type of answers which will make Mica select you? That is what is important. The same psychometric answer given for two different colleges or two different companies may not always be the right fit for everyone. So when we all are solving or when we all are preparing for psychometric tests, we are going to focus only and only on what it takes to ace the psychometric test of MICA. That is the sole purpose. Now, what is MICA looking out for in its candidates? Ultimately, they are doing one aptitude test, they are doing one descriptive test, they are doing a psychometric test also. What are they trying to judge through a psychometric test? Anyone wants to take any guess that what is MICA trying to evaluate in you as a candidate through a psychometric test? Cultural fit. Yes, cultural fit is. So what is the culture of MICA? What is the culture of MICA? So, Akshita, consistency is something which tells them that you are not lying or you are not faking your answers. Though I will just know in another 5 minutes I'll talk more about consistency. Ethics, yes, ethics they do want to check. Creativity, yes. Personality, logic, yes. Creativity, yes, but again, through psychometric they cannot judge your creativity beyond a point because the kind of questions which are there in psychometric test. But yes, your creativity gets evaluated in the descriptive test, the story writing, the argument writing. That is where your creativity gets tested a lot. Now, Mica is primarily looking for testing you at your ethics, testing you at your leadership skills, testing you at your management skills, testing you at your team leadership skills, testing you at the basic level of creativity, testing your thought process when you are thrown into a situation. And moreover, if you are responding to different questions which are testing you at these skills, can you come out as a person who is consistent enough, who is strong enough across different heads? So if I say leadership, your leadership does not come at the cost of ethics. If I say that you are a ethical person, that does not come at the cost of creativity. Or if say you are a creative person, that does not come at the cost of not being a good team player. So all these different parameters they get into it. You need to be consistent across. You need to be giving the answers which make you the right fit for Mica. You need to give the answers which showcase that you are a creative person, you are a person with good leadership skills, you are a person with good creative skills, you are a person with good team player skills, you are a person with strong ethics. All these need to go together in your answers. Whatever answers you mark, this needs to go there first. Second, how do we maintain consistency? This is something which most of us typically do wrong in the first couple of tests of psychometric. So typically we used to have this first session after the first test people have taken, but this time I've made it vice versa, so that we have the first session before the first test. And the reason is I have seen a very common mistake in the first test which a lot of us take. That is, we try to become too true, or we try to be too truthful in psychometric test, and what it leads to is it leads to inconsistency in my answers. Because say I may have answered that I have led a team of 5 somewhere, but at the at somewhere else I am marking that I love working as an individual contributor. Now if you are a person who enjoys leading a team of 5, and simultaneously you are a person who is loving to work as an individual contributor, that's contradictory. Either you can be an individual contributor or you can be a person who loves leading a team. None of these are incorrect, but if you say both, then you are going wrong. So my point is, at times just being truthful may not lead you to consistent answers. So the first advice which I give to all the students every year is, instead of being very truthful, try to go for the best possible option across all the answers. If you aim to go for the best option in terms of how the trait is coming out of that option, you will always end up being consistent. Mark extremely good answers. Don't try to be moderate. Go and appreciate yourself. Go and sell yourself in psychometric tests. Go and mark the best possible answers which make you come out as the best leader, as the best manager, as the best team player, as the best creative person, as the most ethical person. Mark it. No need to be moderate. No need to be very truthful. And the moment you start marking these extreme answers, you will start getting to be consistent automatically. You don't need to worry about consistency. So this is first thing which all of you should remember while you are attempting psychometric tests from tomorrow. Now, what kind of questions are asked? Anyone, any questions so far? Anything which you are not able to get what I'm trying to say? Is it all clear? Is it all clear so far? Okay. Now, what kind of questions are asked? Broadly, there are 4 types of questions which can come in a psychometric test. First type of question is where they will give you a list of 30-40 traits. They will ask you to select 10 traits which suit you the best. This is one type of a question which can be asked. They give you a huge set of traits. They ask you to select 10 which suit you the most. In this, remember one thing: do not select contradictory traits. Select similar traits or diverse traits. Don't select contradictory traits. The moment you select a contradictory trait, you will end up disqualifying the psychometric test. There is nothing like a cutoff of a psychometric test. You either clear it or you don't clear it. And hence, it becomes very important for us to be at our best in all the answers. And when it comes to the first question type, where you are given a broad trait set and you are asked to select 10, it's very important that you either select supporting traits or entirely disconnected traits. Do not select contradictory traits. This is one thing which you need to remember. And the second thing which you need to remember is your traits, whatever traits you select, they should be positive. They should not be negative. For example, I am not punctual. This is not a trait which you will select even if you are not punctual in real life. I am punctual. This is the trait which you will select even if you are not punctual in real life. So my point is, you are only going to mark positive traits. You are not going to mark a negative trait, and you will only mark supporting traits or entirely disconnected traits, and nowhere are you going to mark a contradictory trait. That's about the first type of questions. The second type of questions which you will get, you will be told a situation, you will be given 4 to 6 steps, and you will be asked to mark those steps in the priority order in which you are going to take those steps. Now remember that whenever this type of question comes, you need to keep the organization goals and objectives at the highest priority. Organization's goals and objectives should be at the highest priority, then should be the goals and objectives of your team, and last comes you as a person. So whatever preference order you select, you will select in the order which keeps organization first, team second, and yourself third, and maintaining ethics across. It is not that if a particular option is entirely unethical but is benefiting the organization, you will mark it at the first preference. No. You will maintain this order, ensuring that ethics are maintained across all the steps which you are mentioning. Any step which is unethical directly becomes the last step which you will ever take. So while you are marking the preference or order of the different steps, do remember these very basic guidelines. Third type of questions, you will get couple of statements. Vatsal, these could be professional or personal. If personal, you will keep the benefit of all the stakeholders at the higher priority and you will be unbiased. So if a situation is professional, you will keep organization first, team second, yourself third. If it is a personal problem, even then there will be certain stakeholders and you will try to maximize the output for all the stakeholders and not be selfish or biased towards any one particular stakeholder. That is how you will approach it. Now, coming to the third type, where two statements will be given to you and they will ask you that whether you agree with both, disagree with both, agree with one, disagree with the other, and so on. Now in this kind of question, strongly agree or moderately agree or just agree does not matter. You will not decide your option, the correct option basis strong, moderate words. Those are just the extents of agreement and the extents of disagreement. They don't decide your answer. Your answer is majorly decided by agree or disagree word. What extent does not matter. How will you approach this kind of a question? For this kind of a question, you are first of all going to compare the two given statements. You will see whether the statements, if say you are given two statements, there are only three possibilities. First is both are supporting statements. Second, both are contradicting statements. Third, both are disconnected statements. Am I correct? Only these three possibilities are there. If two statements are given to you, they are either supporting, they are either contradictory, or they are disconnected. Am I correct? Or there is any other possibility which I am missing? Akshita, Aditi, Khushbu, do you think there is any other possibility which is there, or only these three possibilities? Vatsal? Okay. Now, when you are given a question where there are two statements and you have to agree, disagree, etc., the first job which you are going to do is to compare the two statements. First, arrive at the fact that whether the two statements which are given to you, they are supporting, contradictory, or disconnected. If the two statements are supportive, If the two statements are of similar nature, they are supporting. In that case, you will either agree with both or you will disagree with both. You will not agree with one and disagree with the other because they are supporting statements. In the case of supporting statements, you ought to agree with both or you ought to disagree with both. And that is a very, very commonsensical thing also, because if there are two statements which are similar, I either agree with both or I either disagree with both. I cannot agree with one and disagree with the other. So that is first thing which you need to remember for similar statements or supporting statements. But suppose the statements are contradictory. If statements are contradictory, you definitely have to agree with one and disagree with the other. You cannot agree with both, you cannot disagree with both because they are contradictory in nature. In the case of contradictory statements, you will agree with one, disagree with the other. Extent does not matter. Extent does not matter. You can strongly agree and moderately disagree, or strongly agree and disagree, or strongly disagree and moderately agree. I don't care about the extent. What I care is the word which you have selected after this: agree, the word agree, and the word disagree. In the case of supporting statements, they have to be same. In the case of contradictory statements, they have to be different. The third scenario, where the statements are disconnected, does not matter whether you agree with both, you disagree with both, or you agree with one and disagree with the other. Okay, so that is how, once you have compared the given two statements, you can arrive at the answer which you want to mark. Is it clear? And even while marking these answers, you will remember that you should come out as a person who is a strong leader, who is creative, who is ethical, who is a team player, etc., etc. The top leadership skills, the top management skills need to be displayed in whatever answers you select, but you need to mark the answers basis the fact that the two statements are supporting, contradictory, or they are disconnected. Is it clear? Any doubts here? Any doubts, anyone? Okay. Now, the last possibility of a type of a question is they will give you, say, a set of statements, say 4, 5, 6 statements, and they will tell us with which all do you agree or with which all do you disagree. In this case, in the given set, whatever statements are similar, you will put them in the bucket of agree or disagree. You will not put the contradictory statements in the same bucket of agree and disagree, which goes to the similar logic which we just discussed for the previous type, right? This becomes a very, very a thing which is based on common sense also, that if someone says two statements, I cannot disagree with both or I cannot agree with both if they are contradictory. So I cannot be ethical and unethical at the same time. I can either be ethical or I can be unethical. So these are the basic nuances which all of you need to remember while you attempt the psychometric mock tests or whether you appear for the psychometric test in the actual examination. Any doubts, anyone, any questions, any queries around psychometric understanding, please feel free to ask. Do you have an idea now that how to approach psychometric tests, how to go about marking the answers? Any doubt, anyone? Khushbu, any doubt? Aditi, any doubt? Perfect. So tomorrow, once the psychometric tests are live, I will update you in the group. You can start taking the psychometric test. And once, as I said last time also, you need to ignore the result which you will see at the time of your psychometric test submission, actual evaluation of your psychometric test will be the one which I will send you over email within 24 to 36 hours of you submitting the test. You don't need to inform me separately that you have taken the test. I will automatically get to know that you have taken the test and I will send you the feedback. Okay, so don't worry, whatever result you see at the time of test submission, you just need to ignore it. You don't need to go by it, because there is no right or wrong answer for psychometric. I have to manually evaluate your tests and send you the feedback over email. Okay, perfect. So great. We'll meet again for the next session. The next session will be on descriptive writing. The next session will be on story writing and argument writing. We'll meet again. I'll inform you in the group. Recording of this session will be available for your future reference. Thank you, everyone. I hope the session was of some use. Thank you and good night. Any queries anytime, feel free to ask in the group. Thank you.